Good Wednesday morning to you. The teleprompter is telling me that I'm Jason DeRusha, but clearly that is incorrect. I am Heather Brown in all this week for Jason with your mid-morning update. So let's get you right to speed on the news and on the weather. It's going to be another hot one today. Not quite as hot as what we've seen over the past couple days or so and what is ahead for us. Riley tells us 83 degrees there, but see that on your screen? Air quality alert that is still in effect through tomorrow morning for Minnesota. So if you have trouble breathing or any trouble with the smoke, could be best to stay inside today. You're still going to see those hazy skies, those hazy sunsets as we head on through the evening. Okay, have you started your back to school shopping yet? Because if you have, maybe you've noticed a little sticker shock.
I looked at Target online for some crayons and it happened to be almost $3. And, you know, I know normally I've seen them just walking through the store 50 cents, so it was kind of shocking.
$3? That is shocking. I haven't done any of this yet. Oh my gosh. I just noticed that all of the shelves were stocked with the school supplies in the middle of July. Industry experts say that part of the reason for this price jump could be that when COVID shut down the country, the supply chain was put on hold. Retailers, of course, still trying to recover. We're seeing this in a lot of spaces, of course. $37.1 billion is what they expect people to spend in school supplies. 849 really per household. I mean, you're adding in, you know, electronics there, those fancy calculators, perhaps an iPad there. We have not started this yet. I'm not looking forward to this part. Luckily for my little ones, we're still in the crayons and markers, but the big one, yeah, he gets that fancy calculator. Have you started your shopping? I'd love to know your tricks, your tips. Are you seeing these higher prices out there when you go that way? Have you run across $3 crayons? If you are watching on Facebook here, please leave a comment. We will read through a few of those in just a moment. Health officials say that the Delta variant is to blame for the sharp rise in COVID cases in Minnesota. So the state reported 625 new COVID cases yesterday. Department of Health says that about 75% of all new cases are that Delta variant and that 99% of people getting sick are not vaccinated. The highly contagious strain is being blamed for more than a 120% spike in the new cases here in the U.S. just over the past month. One of the nation's leading experts on vaccines, he's down at Mayo. He says that people need to understand that the Delta variant is far more contagious and that children are among those getting very sick.
We are in a completely different situation now with the Delta variant. This is infecting young people. We are seeing rises in severe disease and hospitalization among young people. This is a serious issue.
The doctor says that the spike, he believes, is a direct result of 4th of July get-togethers from 2 weeks ago. Land of 10,000 Lakes is losing a lot of water, and it's starting to impact how much we use at home. So popular spots across the state are drying up. Rushing water is a common sight at Gooseberry Falls along the north shore of Lake Superior this time of year. This is what it usually looks like. But now, check that out. Falls look like this. Hardly even call them falls anymore. More than half the rock dry out there. So that means places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, Maple Grove are asking neighbors this drought to stick to even odd watering schedules. They're telling residents to avoid watering during the hottest parts of the day. This is all part of the state's water contingency plan that's in effect for parts of the state. Now we are at level 3 of 5, kicked in on Tuesday for places like St. Paul. It's because they get a lot of their water from the river, from Mississippi River, and those levels are lower. The general manager of the St. Paul Regional Water Services tells us it hasn't been this dry since 1988, and he anticipates we could hit the next threshold as soon as next week. That would require more restrictions.
We're very likely, if the weather forecast is accurate over the next 7 to 10 days, that we'll hit that trigger. And at that point, we'll be required to go from that 53 million gallon a day target to 44 million gallons a day target. So it'll drop us another 25%.
So the next phase would mean mandatory conservation for people who get their water from the Mississippi. That does include Minneapolis, St. Cloud, and St. Paul. Major utility companies could start disconnecting households in 2 weeks if consumers have unpaid bills. Now, for some, the shutoffs have already started, but federal aid could stop it. Minnesota Department of Commerce is urging Minnesotans with past due bills to tap into hundreds of millions of dollars of energy assistance. It's available to cover up to $1,600 in bills plus $1,200 in past due bills. The department says that 340,000 households have past due energy and gas bills that total more than $140 million.
We've tried to, maximize the dollar value that you can get for each application and for each family. And then we know that there are more people in need this year, and so we're hoping to reach more people.
So groups working with people in need say that one of the biggest barriers is access. The Community Action Program of Hennepin County can help you figure out if you're eligible, also help you figure out an application.
We don't count that additional COVID unemployment money. So we're only looking at their actual weekly benefit, not the additional. So there's a lot of people that I think automatically assume they're over income, and they're not.
Applications are open all year this year. There's also a weatherization program that's available to help low-income people cut down their overall cost of energy. So Muslims throughout the world are celebrating Eid al-Adha. This is the festival of sacrifice. A Minneapolis bakery is playing a crucial role in this religious holiday. Halwa Kismayo and Grill cooks 10,000 pounds of halwa every year during the celebration. The dessert looks like a thick jam. It's caramelized with sugar, oil, cornstarch, nutmeg, and cardamom. The treat is essential in every major Somali occasion.
In Somalia, you eat this on every Friday. You eat for holidays, weddings, and when the taste is almost identical, it just brings you back. And that's why earlier I said to you that after you take a bite, you go into this magical place.
Demand for the dessert is so high that businesses in Minneapolis ship it around the world. For a list of places to buy halwa in Minnesota, just head on over to WCCO.com. Structural damage could keep a Minneapolis restaurant closed for months. So Jack's Cafe over on University says that the recommended restoration for the damage will require all or part of the building to be closed to the public. Could be 3 or 4 months before they're able to reopen it back up. City says as plans and city permits are put into motion, it will update everybody on the timeline of when they can resume business. Minneapolis Park Board has temporarily closed another city beach, this time Makaska's 32nd Street Beach. They had some E. coli levels that exceeded state guidelines. They do regular testing there so they can figure this out. No one reported getting sick over there. Park Board will resample that water once again 1 week from today. A social media site is giving users some more control. Instagram says it'll let you decide how much sensitive content you'll see. So sensitive is a subjective word there, but it'll launch a new tool called Sensitive Content Control. You have the option of filtering potentially objectionable content in the app's Explore feed. Instagram says that sensitive content doesn't include material that doesn't necessarily break the rules, but potentially could be upsetting to some people, like posts that may be sexually suggestive or violent. Peloton is spinning into the world of video games. The at-home fitness company is launching its first video game. It's called Lane Break. Players pedal to the beat of the game music while switching lanes on the virtual track. Then the members can all compete against each other. Peloton says it hopes to launch the game later on this year. New tagline for the Minnesota State Fair. They're calling it now the Great Minnesota Get Back Together. So you can see that mantra come to life in this year's commemorative poster. That's Kevin Cannon. He's a cartoonist and illustrator. He created a beautiful watercolor here. And you can see the fairgrounds jam-packed with people and music and animals and games and food. And the artist says that he hopes people will find something new every time they look at the poster and look closely right there in the middle. What do you see? Yep. A Channel 4 camera right by the giant slide, just under 36 days away. We are 35 days, 22 hours, 16 minutes, and 53 seconds before the state fair opens up its gates. But who's counting, right? Let's head back to today's talker, because I'd love to know, have you started your back to school shopping yet? Parent of the year right here has not, but Becca, let's see. Eric, our web guy, is here this morning to bring in some of the comments you left on Facebook.
It says, haven't started yet. We have some stuff from last year, so I'm hoping I don't have to buy much.
That's a good point. We have a lot of stuff left from last year because we weren't in school all last year. Very good point. Becca, who else do we have here?
We also have Deb, who says that yes, yes, even my 10-year-old grandson was shocked by the prices. $52 for a backpack.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So Deb, this is a good warning for all of us.
And we have not started, but we have the list. That's a start. Well, okay, well, you've done the bare minimum so far.
Simon, you are even ahead of me. Well, you have the list there.
When I had kids in school, I tried to pick up the basics a bit at time over the summer. Otherwise, it was a budget breaker.
For real, Diana. And every year it seems to be getting higher and higher. And you have to do it, right? And you also want to help out the other kids in the classroom. You want to help out the teachers if you are able to. Just school supplies. Oh my gosh, we're talking about this in mid-July, but of course we are, because we're going to start talking about Halloween in mid-August. That is your morning update from CBSN Minnesota. We are your only local streaming news source. It's great to see you here today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.